Good afternoon, everybody here, and thank you for having me here in this hall today. And I can see some of my students here in this hall, and I hope they don't feel stressed because I'm not gonna check your homework, actually. Okay, okay. Before I start my speech, can I have a small question to some of you guys here today? What makes a good leader, in your opinion? Any hand raised? Yeah, Andrew, please. Decisiveness. Okay, can I have an answer from a girl or a lady? Oh, please. Empathy. Okay, thank you. Usually, when I give this question to my students, none of the answers given like gender, but something must be wrong here. Oh, probably because of the light. Women, we account for half of the population. We are graduating even more than men all around the world. However, in the US, as you can see from the data, not sure if the light is okay, the master degrees earned in the US from women are far higher than the male counterparts. However, 54.3 women join the workforce, but only 35% of the leaders and executive or leading positions in the corporations are females. In Vietnam, the proportion of women in the labor force account for a half. But when it comes to leadership or when it comes to managing positions, we are thinking of men as the better leaders. Is it a paradox? This is the proportion of seat of women in parliaments in Vietnam. Only a quarter of the members in the parliaments in Vietnam are women. Only a quarter. So how about the 3/4? I'm going to tell you a story. In fact, I am an IELTS coach and I have been teaching in more than 10 years. And during those times, those years working, I usually ask my students, what makes a good leaders? None of the answer related to gender. When they did a great job in teamwork or team projects, I asked them, with the boys that we play, well, I'm awesome, thank you, I can even handle more challenging tasks. In contrast, with girls, they usually gave credit to their teammates. They say that, oh, thank you, but thanks to the support of my teams, oh, I don't deserve that. I don't believe so. So how about the female leaders worldwide? In Malaysia, if you are a leader, you have to pretend like you are caring or you are working like a teacher, a caregiver for everyone to be accepted. Only 13% women, female leaders in Malaysia are accepted. Is it unfair? No matter how excellent they perform, they are underrated because to Malaysian men, women working as the leaders are the bad homemakers. You're not gonna be a good wife. So, what is the main reason? Is this just to say like, thanks to my teammates, I didn't did that craze is an act of humility? Is it all about neuroscience? Oh, something's wrong with this PowerPoint. It's okay, it's just the first part, it needs neuroscience, okay? So in any culture, men tend to be more aggressive and is a part of the prefrontal cortex. So men with masculinities are performing better in fighting, negotiating, and when it comes to threats, be it named psychological or physical strength, they tend to behave, they tend to act and to do something to solve the problems immediately. In contrast to women, they tend to befriend, be kind. Is it something that related to biology? So it makes women become less potential leaders. Do you think so? So I'm gonna have another story to tell. It's the real story of my life. In my business life, I have met so many potential business partners. And a couple of months ago, I met a guy. He is Vietnamese 100%, and he has some sort of achievements and social status. And we discussed our missions, visions, we discussed businesses. At the end of the meeting, we shake hands, and he gave me some compliments about my physical looks without mentioning anything about my business strategies. Why, thank you. I didn't expect that. And he gave me some piece of advice. As a girl, you shouldn't show up too strong because you look so masculine. Do you know that? And usually in Vietnam, if you are a business woman, if you are so strong, it's really hard to find a good husband. In other words, I should work less so my man can work more for me. I don't know if anybody here in this room relate to that story, because when I was small, my grandma usually told me I shouldn't be so strong because it looks masculine. And in other words, being a leader, can you feel in this sentence? It is something maybe mistakes, technical problem. If you are a good woman, it's okay. If you are a good woman, you are a bad leader. In other words, if you are a good leader, you should be a man. Masculinity is related to leadership. I don't think so. In other words, femininity and good leaderships are not the impossible dilemma. So, talking about societal bias. In Asian countries, especially some countries that I call the countries with the tight cultures. Have you ever heard about the terms tight cultures and loose cultures? Tight cultures, it means the countries in the Middle East, some Asian countries like Japan, China, the Confucian Asians. They are, they are more narrow-minded a little bit compared with the loose cultures. They believe that in the past, probably, the places for women are in the kitchen and in the bedroom. If you cannot give a birth, you're going to be a bad woman. Oh, wow. Just for reproduction, huh? And in contrast, in the loose culture, thank you, Prophet. Like Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, and the United States, they are more open-minded. And in Japan, women have no seat in the ballroom. In Malaysia, if you stand up in a ballroom, you talk against a man, especially your male co-workers, you're going to be a bad bitch. Do I need to shut up to be a good lady? So, you might assume here that the loose cultures, they value women higher than the tight cultures country. Interesting. No country surveyed show men and women equally represented in leadership positions in various arenas, or were egalitarian to the extent that women were favored over than men. You know, the data never lies. So why so? Come back to my question at the first place. Usually, your answers never mention gender. And we all know that. We cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. We cannot just succeed when a half of our populations are being undervalued. You know Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistani girl, the girl with the Nobel Prizes for Peace. She's a voice for new feminism. So, what you do? If you are a girl and you think, you believe in your potential and what boys and men could do to support your counterparts, first and foremost, is it to have a role model. Or if you have more than two, wow, it's awesome. I think many of you here might know them, the ladies on the screen. And to me, I was raised with an idol of my life, is the Miss Tôn Nữ Thị Ninh, a diplomat and an educator who has been tirelessly working for feminism, for a modern Vietnam with prosperity, for empowerment of women and the youth. So I don't need to be exactly like her, but at least I'm trying. I hope you guys here today to have someone that you can look up to, someone you can think about whenever you are in doubt of yourself. While my fellow speaker, they have talked about to embrace your weaknesses and imperfectly beautiful, right? So you can be like them. Number two is to be more fair-minded, accepted. We feel jealous. We sometimes underrate someone, although we don't really know so well about them, just because we feel insecure about our position. Is this true, man? I'm not going to asking boys in this room for this, but okay? In the future, there will be no female leaders. There will be just leaders. A good leadership has nothing to do with gender. It's all about resilience, collaboration, decisiveness, and empathy, as you might tell. Break the societal bias. We are living in an interconnected world. It is 2022, boys and girls. Don't let any societal bias stop you from conquering your dreams. No matter who you are, no matter what you are doing, you will have some role model. You are fair-minded. So it is time for you to break your comfort zone, to push on your own zones. Last but not least, is it something that I tell my students all the time? Everything comes down to education. What if all girls in the world were given the same education as their male counterparts? What if all girls in the world, regardless of nationalities, religions, acknowledge that smart is the new sexy? And resilience, empathy, femininity, they are all the potential traits of a good leader. So back to my old story about my potential business partner. You know what I told him? I replied him, wow, thank you. I don't need to work less so my man can work more for me. And being a true Asian girl has nothing wrong with being a good leader. I can be a good leader at work, and at the same time, At home, I can be a girl with family, a girl with a warm-hearted. And it still makes a perfect sense. Okay, thank you for your listening. It's my talk today.